Hello, 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 good people. Hello, good people. I'm Dr. Hollie Kelly, and this is Dr. Kelly's perspective for November 21st. And it is my dear friend Camille's birthday. So happy birthday to all the birthday people out there. Listen, it is a thoughtful Thursday, and I have a great selection for you today I don't keep my covers. Shame on me. Mary, you may be familiar with this one too. The DNA of Relationships by Dr. Gary Smalley. Smalley is Smalley. Dr. Gary Smalley with his DNA of Relationships. First of all, I missed y'all. I missed y'all for a couple of days. I was traveling and then had some, as I say, raggedy Wi-Fi. Wouldn't even let me open a GIF, much less come online, and delayed flights and all that good stuff. But I'm back. So the DNA of Relationships, Dr. Gary Smalley. And this is one reason I'm choosing this book because phenomenal author and marriage therapist, and his whole family, not his whole family, but several of his sons, they run the Smalley Marriage Institute. And so just an excellent book, but it's not just about marriage relationships. That's the, oh, thank you, Scoop. That's the one thing about this. It's really about relationships, period. There is a DNA that is filtered through all and any kind of relationships. And so this week's Thoughtful Thursday selection, the DNA of Relationships, Dr. Gary Smalley. But he says all relationships have a definable pattern. And so throughout the book, these are the three things that they cover. Hey, Ty. The three things that they cover: the DNA of relationships, because we all have them. And it's just fascinating that regardless of culture, linguistic differences, religion, where on the globe you are, there is a DNA that runs through all relationships. So he goes through the DNA of relationships, the pattern of their unique relationship dance, and then the 5 effective dance steps for building healthy relationships. Marriages, yes, literally, marriages have been brought back from the brink of divorce. And not just brought back and you just struggling, oh yeah, we decided to stay married. None of that. Healthy, vibrant, thriving relationships. When we understand how people work, the more we understand ourselves and how we were designed, the easier it becomes to understand a different perspective. Okay, anyway, so those are the 3 things that he covers through this book. And I always go long on Thoughtful Thursday, so I'm trying to be straight with this. Okay, so one of the things that he says about the DNA of relationships, all people, all parts of the globe, we are made for relationships. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Colonel Select. Oh, those eagles are going to look marvelous. Marvelous. So we were made for relationships. Even those people who like alone time and want to be alone and they prefer and they're grumpy and they're ugly. Okay, we were made for relationship, not necessarily marriage. Everybody's not designed to be married. People don't want to be married, but relationships. You're made with the capacity to choose, talking about the DNA of relationships, and then you're made to take responsibility for yourself. Just listen to this. Okay. Relationships are not an option. From the moment you're born, you're in relationship. You're in relationship with your parents. You later become in relationships with other children, your friends. You grow up, you get on somebody's job, or you create your own. You're still in relationship with your clients, et cetera, et cetera. While we can choose how we will participate in relationships, we have no choice about whether we will participate them. This is a critical point. Your only real choice is whether you will work to make your relationships healthy, whether you will do things that hinder or enhance them. Okay. But walking through this life solo with a solo routine, it's not really an option. We were designed from the core to be in relationship, some kind of relationship. Okay. So then he goes into, I'm pretty proud of myself. I just am using my little tabs to not take 20 minutes. Okay. He says, if you look at yourself through the camera lens, you may not like what you see. And some of what you see in our behaviors, in our responses to other people, in our attitudes that we cast out among other people, it's just not pretty. So the danger is that you will run from the ugly stuff and put the camera away. Don't do that. But some people dare to look at themselves, and when they do, it yields great results in their relationships. When we're not afraid to do the work on ourselves, everything around us gets better. Okay. I believe that the most objective and true camera lens is God's. And that brings us to the third key relationship in our DNA. Okay, you need a relationship with God. Your most important relationship is with God, the source of all life. This week's Thoughtful Thursday selection, The DNA of Relationships by Dr. Gary Smalley. Okay. Some people may not want to admit that they have a relationship with God. They may say, oh, I abandoned God a long time ago. I don't have a relationship with him. I maintain that we all have a relationship with God, whether or not we like it. Okay, so then he goes on. This is just, obviously, I'm just taking the pieces of just excerpts from it to entice you to read it. It is so well done, so practical, that you can, if you choose to do the work, you can pick it up, and every relationship that you apply this to will get better. Okay, so then he starts talking about the fear dance. And don't expect the other person to be your solution. Oh my goodness. Okay, so just listen to this. This is, okay, we can't live without acceptance, so we fear rejection. And the dance starts. We can't live without connection, so we fear disconnection. And sometimes fear takes over. Sometimes fear shows up and it looks one way, but you really want to desperately be connected, but you keep pushing it away like a self-sabotage. He says, we can't live without love, so we fear being scorned. We can't live without respect, so we fear inferiority. Think about that. There's some people, there's some aspects of our lives when you look, let me just keep going. We can't live without safety, so we fear danger. We can't live without trust, so we fear mistrust. Oh, they did. And it becomes a dance. It becomes cyclical. It becomes something that it feels like you can't get out of this cycle. Oh, this is good. This is really, really, really good. And there was one more piece that I wanted to, oh, don't tell me I lost my little, oh no. I see writing. Whatever. Okay, this is not the piece I really wanted. I can find that. But as my time quickly escapes me, okay, so another way, sometimes we don't value what we love the most. We love these people. We enjoy being around them, but we don't value them. So he says another practical way to recognize value in another person and to create the safety that we need in our relationships is to keep a list of all the good qualities of that person. So sometimes when I feel frustrated or angry with one of them, I go pull out my honor list and I read that instead of reading the riot act. Okay, so sometimes when we're just reminded of all the good qualities that, oh, wait a minute, that's not it. We can be reminded of all the good qualities and force ourselves to be reminded. Okay, when you're feeling angry and frustrated, I really do. I like you. I love you. But let me be reminded, because right now you working my last nerve. Okay, so The DNA of Relationships by Dr. Gary Smalley. Smalley is with an E, Smalley. Just very, very well done. Whether or not you're in a marriage, it's for relationships all around. That is my Thoughtful Thursday selection. Thank you for joining me. You will not regret the read if you choose to do that, to work on yourself as you work on relationships. There's a pattern to this thing. Let's figure it out. Okay. In the meantime, take real good care of yourselves.